Hi, this is Corrine from Harmony Home and Garden, and this is my apartment garden tour, part 1. Okay, so this is my fire escape, and I have a few, these are all edible plants out here. There's still space to walk, but in case of emergency, since we're basically all home right now, I can easily move my tomato plant inside. So I have my basil plant. This I had in my kitchen windowsill, and I'll show you that in a few minutes, what I have on my kitchen windowsill, but I just brought it out here for more sun. It really needs to be in a bigger pot, but you can see how thick this is, how thick these stems are. Yeah, so this really should be in a bigger pot, but you know, I just left it in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut these off and just make a pesto sauce. And this is my lemon balm. I actually found, I pulled up one of these small ones at my community garden, and it was probably about this size when I pulled them up. They were all small, and I planted them here. So this, you can use this to make teas. It's really refreshing. It does taste like a lemon, probably more like the rind of a lemon. So it's doing okay. It's been growing, but it's looking, I don't know what the issue was. Maybe I was overwatering it or what. You can see down there, spider. Oops, let me put that back outside. I don't want that in my apartment. This is my purslane. This is a weed. Well, you could consider a weed. It grows like a weed. When I pulled a piece of it out from my community garden, it was maybe about this size from where my finger is, and it was this size, and this is how much it's grown. What's amazing about this plant that I just discovered is that in these little, right here, these are where the seeds are stored. So if I've seen this growing out of the cracks in New York City. So this is probably how you can see. Oh, sorry, I just broke it off. Just broke the top off. I don't know where that went. But I already started emptying some of these to get the seeds out. So this is probably why you can see so many of them, at least here in New York, because these pop off easily on their own and the seeds just spread. So I want to grow more of this, so I'm going to break these off, and they come off quite easily, as you saw. I don't want the seeds flying away. But I've actually bought this from Whole Foods. And I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it wasn't that cheap. So this is something that looks like a succulent. You can cook it, you can eat it as a salad. What you can do is find a small piece of this, if you live in New York City, and grow that and see this grows bigger. And the piece that grew, you don't have to eat that, but this is how much, and it's only been maybe a month and a half, 2 months, I've had this plant. This is how much it's grown. So that's purslane. And the next plant out here is my Malabar spinach. This is a vining spinach. I got this from my nursery, and I actually made these planters. It's hard for you to see. Let me try to flip the camera around. So I made those planters. I sewed them up by hand. It's vinyl on the inside, and then a felt on the outside, and I punched holes in it. So I thought about buying some, but I was like, why not just make it myself? And I had these vinyl. I was gonna do some bookbinding with it, but decided to make these planters. So yeah, and this is growing pretty big. I already cut that piece, sauteed it, and cooked it up with some potatoes. And this one is pretty big. It's pretty tall. You can see the stalks are pretty thick. So let me show you. This is my Tiny Tim tomato. So this is a 1-gallon planter. You can see all the tomatoes that's on it. And this I grew this from seeds. So lots and lots. I'm trying to get under here so you can see. Let me just pick one. That's right. Well, two came off. But they're a little bigger than cherry tomatoes. I picked one so far and ate it. I'm trying to get, there's a big one under there. But yeah, it's a little bigger than cherry tomatoes. And then we have my other tiny tin. This is, I would say this gallon size is probably about 0.75. This is actually where I get my coconut oil in, my organic coconut oil that I use for my business. So I have a bunch of these containers. I've used them for planters. I have them on my other fire escape. But I just drilled holes in these and just use them. So you can see, turn this around. So if it ever gets like really windy, it was really windy a few weeks ago, what I'll do is just bring these inside my apartment. And again, if there's ever emergency, one of us, my husband or myself, we're pretty much home. So I've been wanting to grow up things on my fire escape before, but I mean, technically it is illegal, I should say, to do it. This is the one that I was trying to grab, the bigger one. So it's bigger than cherry tomato. This one fell. So this is my garden on my fire escape, and this is actually my bedroom. So every morning I come out here and I water my plants. It's actually a really nice experience. Okay, so now we're in my kitchen, and this is my kitchen windowsill, which is pretty wide. So here I have lots of oregano, and this I planted in a juice box and then punch holes in them. In the box and in the jug, I should say, not the box, and hung it. And let me show you another project I did. I'm going to insert a picture here of a vertical hanging garden that I made. This is what's left of it, these two. That had about 4 hanging from below, and then on this side of the apartment I had a different version that I was playing around with of this. But these are all recycled bottles that I got in the recycling bin in my apartment building, and washed them with bleach and soapy water and I was growing lettuce and spinach out of it. This is a mugwort. It's a weed. I picked up one small piece about this small from my community garden and planted it. Just pulled it out, took it home, planted it, and it's multiplied itself. This is the main plant. This was the first plant that I grew, and it multiplied itself into all these others. So one multiplied itself into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. 6 different plants. So you can see why this is definitely a weed. But this is helps with sleep, and it also helps with your dreams. So it is known to give you lucid dreams. So I actually want to try this. I haven't tried it yet. And then this is a plant. It's a flower that I got from the Dollar Tree that I planted. It needs more sun, but I just threw it up there to see what would happen. But this seed is from the Dollar Tree, and I can't remember, it was a mixed package of different seeds. So from the nursery I got the oregano, and it came 4 in a pack for $3.50, and I bought 2 packs of oregano. I think I gave 2 to friends of mine. But this is another oregano plant. This is another oregano plant. Planted in some sugar. This is one of the brands of sugar that I like to use, so I just recycle the container. There's no holes in the bottom, so there's no drainage, but the plant still thrives. And then this was the other hanging planter that I had, so it would have been under here. But the cord broke, it was wet and it broke, so I just put this in here. And this is wood sorrel. This is a also grows as a weed, and I picked up a small piece from my community garden and planted it here, and it's grown. Not as much as I wanted to, but it's still growing. And this, in my camping video that I'm gonna put up, I foraged for this in on the Appalachian Trail, and I was eating it. It's so delicious. It's like has a really nice citrus taste, and so you can tell this separately from clover. It's closing up. I think it's because it's getting dark. It closes up, but it has 3 leaves like a clover, but I'm trying to open one up. But each leaf is shaped like a heart. So when it gets dark, when the sun goes down, it closes itself up. In the daytime, it would open up. So if you can see this, the smaller ones. And then this is more oregano. I love oregano. You use this in your hair to make, I made a hair tea out of it, fresh hair tea with rosemary and oregano, and use it as a rinse. So this is more basil. This is my sweet basil, like what's on the fire escape. I bought this at the same time as that one. But I'm allowing this to go to flower so that I could collect some seeds from this plant rather than having to buy them. Although I went to a tree to grab some supplies, and they had sweet basil seeds, so I picked some up. But then this is my Thai basil, and I love Thai food, and I cook a lot of Asian dishes. So I'm allowing a few stems to, you can see that isn't going to flower. I allow a few of them to go to flower so I can collect the seeds. So this is a way of not having to spend money next spring, summer to get more, to grow more. So these, the oregano, the basil, these are all from the nursery. This collard green, it isn't looking too great. I had more of it, but then I had an issue with mealy bugs, and so I had to basically get rid of the others that I had. But this is another pocket pouch vinyl that I sewed up, and how I attach it was I cut holes and reinforced it, and then used zip ties from the dollar store. And it's double stitch, so it's pretty secure. It's secured in 3 spots, here in the center and then here. And then this is shiso. I'll make sure I write that. This is it's a popular plant from Japan, and it's someone planted one of these in the community garden, and basically there's so many of them, it spread itself so much. So I took a small piece of this, and it's grown a lot. So this is, if you're not familiar with apartment, these are child protective bras. So down here I have a lettuce. I'm not sure. I think it might be an Asian variety. I planted it from seed, but I can't remember which pack I got it from. I'm trying to move the shiso. Yeah, the shiso is looking pretty dry. So this is I think it's a Japanese variety. I can't remember. If I can remember what packet I used, I'll write it down. I grew spinach here. Prior to these plants being here, I had a lot of spinach and lettuce, and they were doing really good. They actually did really good. If I have a picture, I'll insert it. But these aren't looking all that great, but you know, I'm gonna just keep trying. And this is how I water them. I have a sports bottle. It's just got it for my husband, and I just put it through. This is how I water all my plants. I didn't feel like buying a special watering canister, so you know, this just works fine. Really nice walking up to my building and looking up and seeing these plants, especially this one. You could also do this in your apartment, in your bathroom. I could have done this, but I didn't feel like it. I should have planted, if I thought about it earlier, I could have planted flowers in the bathroom. Do the same, sew up another pouch and grow flowers for my bathroom because I have the same ledge there. That's my, this is part one of my apartment garden tour. I'm just showing you, these are all the edible plants that I have. So lots of oregano, and the oregano, I'm going to use them in some products for my business and also for my hair. I have a hair care and a skincare company, so I make products for normal skin but also dry skin, acne prone. I make products that are great for dry hair. So I mostly buy my herbs. I mostly buy like dried organic herbs, but sometimes if I can get them fresh, I use them in my products as well. So yep, this is my garden. This is something that you can do, you know, maybe for a fall garden. This is a vertical hanging system. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and just so you know, these are punctured. There's holes at the bottom, so they drain down. This is punch. There's holes under here, and just drains down into the lower one. So got this for free. You know, the soil, a big bag of soil was like $10. And this is a weed that I got from my community garden, but it grows in the city. Like I find this in my parks. So you can go and get a small piece. You know, we don't want to take too many plants from our parks, but you know, you get a small piece, or even from the cracks in here, if you live in the city or anywhere, you know, you can just get a small piece and just plant it like I did. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please, if you haven't liked the video, take a minute and like it. Well, less than a minute. Okay, you liked it? Thank you. I really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, because I'm excited about bringing you more content, talking about the various ways to be resourceful. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I just want to pull 2 or 3 nuggets from the video. One is a way to get free plants. You can either find them on your sidewalk. That sounds crazy, but there's things that are considered weed that grows on your sidewalk that they sell at Whole Foods, like the purslane. It grows as a weed here in New York City, and you can buy it at Whole Foods. I bought it at Whole Foods. So you can pull out a small one with the roots, put in some water and then a soil, and you saw how big mine grew, and that was just like a month and a half of growing. And if you want to chuck it when you're ready to cook it, you could chuck the part, if you remember that part that grew out of the cracks of wherever you lived, or you know, you could wash it and cook it. There's also the motherwort. There's lots of plants that grow as weed, we are taught that weed are not just weed. They have medicinal properties, and you could cook them, you can make teas out of them. So I would just encourage you maybe to get a plant app. I found one for free, and then you can just take pictures of plants and it'll tell you what the name of that plant is, and you can look up what's the plant benefits. So that's one way of getting plants for free. Another way of getting planters, using recycled bottles. I got some from my recycling bin, washed them, and bleach and soap, and then cut holes in them, add some string that I already had, put some soil in it, and grew some seeds, or either bought plants from the nursery. So yes, just want to encourage you, if there's fall is coming up, it's not too late to start a fall garden. I know kale grows well in the fall. Collards, I believe, grows well in the fall. So there's other things that you can grow if you start your seeds now, and you can grow, or go to your nursery. I'm gonna probably do both. I haven't started any seeds yet. I'm gonna probably try the purslane. If not, I'm going to go to my nursery. So again, thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't. Turn on notification bell, and I'm really excited to bring you more content. All right, thank you. Bye.